discussed about form development.
Recording
So
in progress.
before starting any new form development, we have to set up the forms path. For that, we need to download the template.fmb, abstract.fmb from AUTA. At the same time, we need to download the PLL and the PLS from the AU top resource folder. So once complete this setup, then we'll start the new development. So create a table in the custom schema, then create a synonym in app schema, open template.fmb using the form builder and start the form development. So when you start any new form development, we need to create a window, canvas, and data block. Those three are the mandatory. And we need to modify the triggers at form level. We modified two triggers. One is the pre-form, the second one is the venue form instance, and create one new trigger at block level. The trigger name is the pre-insert to populate two columns. Then modify one package, that's a program units. There we need to give the window name. Then we need to change the properties at the form level, rename the form, and give the first navigation data block to your block name. Then that means whenever you open a form, by default, the cursor, the navigation will directly go to your block instead of going to Oracle. Then save the FMB and move the FMB from local machine to server. Please keep in the AU top of forms US. Then open putty tool and call the command frmcmp batch command to generate the data.fmx. The data.fmx should be generated in the pivot tab. Then log into Oracle applications, register form, then register function, attach the function to create a new menu, attach the function to menu, then attach the menu to our responsibility. Then go to our responsibility. You can open the form. There you can enter the data and click on the save button. The data will insert into Oracle table. So this is coming to new form development. So today we'll go to personalization. Yeah. So already Oracle given a lot of forms here. We need to implement some cosmetic changes or maybe the look and feel also. So in that case, instead of making changes to the .fmb, so it will take a lengthy process. So the Oracle has given flexibility that is called as the personalizations. With that, okay, we'll make the changes. So we discuss how to work on the personalization. So it is used to personalize. That means make any cosmetic changes. We can't make a complex here. Example, I want to add a new field, so that's not possible. Just a small changes. Later we'll discuss what type of changes we'll implement without touching or without modifying the Oracle FMB. I don't want to download the Oracle FMB. Without to download the Oracle FMB, I will make a changes in another source. Then the changes will affect in the data FMB. It's not a physically at runtime. So that's called as the forms personalizations. You can call it as the customization. So using the front-end navigation there, I don't want to open the form builder. I don't want to generate a data from X. These many steps, okay, reduce it using the personalization. Okay, so and easily, yeah, we can migrate from one instance to another instance using the F1 load utility. Already we came to know. So even form personalization also we can migrate from one instance to other instance using the dot utility. So without touching Oracle FMB, we'll make the changes to the Oracle forms. Yeah? So it's not a physically, we are saving in the changes in the data FMB. The changes will save in some another source. But at runtime, whenever you open the form, whatever the changes we are going to write, the changes will okay, transfer into data FMB. Okay, so that's called as the personalization. We'll see what type of cosmetic changes will okay, implement. Example here make field mandatory. So Oracle has given one form. In that form, example here, we'll go to user form. I'm going to user security user define. So in that user form, the description field is optional. It's a white field. But my client requirement here, they want a mandatory field. Okay, so normally we have to download this FMB and make the changes. Yesterday I shown required property, yes. Then again you need to recompile the form using the putty tool. So I don't want to go to that lengthy process here. It's a simple process. In the front end itself, we can make the required changes. So that's called as the form personalization. One of the requirement is the field mandatory. Then one we can move one form to that means to call one form to another form. It's called as a zooming. Example here, I will give one real example. So there is one AP invoice here. Before creating the AP invoice, the finance guys want to check the PO, whether the PO is created successfully. That means PO is approved or not. Then only the finance team will make a payment and the invoice. So they want to zoom the purchase order form, then they query the PO. If the PO is approved, then only the finance team will create the AP invoice. That means calling one form to another form. We're calling it as the zoom functionality. Then maybe you want to call some procedures packages also. That is possible. Then display the messages based on maybe show messages, warning, error, debug, and hint messages. Show means the message will display in the pop-up. The user has to close that window. Otherwise, it won't allow. Warning also same here, but severity is different. Error means it will stop the user. It won't continue. Okay? So the user has to remove the data. Then only the form Oracle will allow us to continue the next navigation. Yeah. Then debugging means sometimes we don't know what is the problem inside of the code. Then we have to enable the debug. Hint means the message will display in the bottom. That means the status bar. So no pop-up window. The user won't to close the pop-up window. So the user can continue. It's called as the hint here. Example, once you click on the save button, you're getting one message. Saved one record, FRM saved one record. Those are the hint messages. The messages will display in the bottom. Right? Then call SRS window to submit the program. So we can use the SRS window, standard request. I don't want to go to view request, submit request. There's a lengthy navigation. So in the through form, that means once you click on the save button or something, I want to pop up the SRS window dynamically and I want to pass the parameters dynamically. In that case, we'll use the call SRS window, then change LOB dynamically. So sometimes I need to filter some values based on my requirement, then make it a LOB dynamically. Then okay, enter values in uppercase or lowercase. So whatever the cosmetic changes, yeah. But if you want to add any new field, that is not possible. That is the main limitation of the form personalizations. Only cosmetic changes only we can implement, like make the field mandatory, then call one form to another form. So we can call it as the zooming, then execute a procedure or package, and then display the messages, maybe the show messages, warning or error, debug, and hint messages. Call SRS window, change LOB dynamically, then enter the values, maybe in uppercase or lowercase. So example, user is entering the invoice number. The invoice number always in the uppercase. So by mistake, sometimes the user will enter the lowercase. I don't want to give that chance. So whenever the user enter even the lowercase with the keyboard, it has to convert to uppercase. In that case, we'll use the form personalization. Okay. So these many things we can achieve through the form personalizations. May some more cases here we'll discuss later. Okay. Then level of form personalizations, we can write at a two level, form level and function level. So yesterday we created one form that's called as the employee form. Based on the employee form, we created one function. Example function one here. May can create a more than one function. Function one and function two. Based on one FMB, we can create a one form. Based on one form, we can create a multiple functions. So if I take a personalization at a form level, the two functions will change automatically. Suppose if I open the function one and if I take the function level, then the changes will not move out to the function two. So the best practice here, please take it to function level. Don't take it to form level. If you take it to form level, all the functions related to that form will change. Okay, so the best practice will take it to function. So one form can have the multiple functions, but yesterday we created only one form and one function. May there is a flexibility, you can create a multiple functions. Then very, very important, the triggers. So the main limitation of the form personalization is it won't support all the things here. That means adding the new fields, new data block, new canvases. That is not possible. That is the one limitation. The second limitation is the triggers. It won't support all the triggers. And the form builder, we have 100 of triggers, but the personalizations will support only 7 triggers. That is the main limitation or drawback of the form personalization. But we can achieve most of the things here using these many triggers, like a when new form instance, when new black instance, when new record instance, when new item instance, when valid record. Most of the times we'll use the when valid record. With these triggers, we can achieve most of the requirement. Then special and menu triggers. These two related to the calling one form to another form. Nothing is there. Yeah, special and menu. So these many triggers we can use in the form personalizations. Suppose yesterday we used when you preform trigger, then pre-insert triggers, and when button pressed. Those type of triggers won't support by the form personalizations. It will support only seven triggers out of the hundred of triggers. Yeah, only seven triggers. That's it. Okay, na? So we can't use the when validate item. We can't use the post text item, key next item. Lot of triggers are there. So we won't use that many triggers. We'll use only seven triggers. So later I will explain here in which scenario we'll use which trigger. And I will give some examples, then you will come to know. Okay. So then action types. So we can use four action types in the form personalizations. One is the property, the second one is the message, then the built-in and menu. These many actions we can use either property or message or built-in or menu. Only four. Yeah. Coming to property, when you will use means to make a field mandatory or to change the font color or background color, change LOB, change window name, and suppose sometimes I want to make the form as a read only. I don't want to give the DML operations. The user shouldn't enter any data. The user shouldn't save the data. So make the form as a read only. Then case sensitive. So regarding this requirement, we'll use the property option. Yeah. So one of the action type is the property. A message means to display the messages. You can use this many message types like a show, a pop-up, a hint, warning, error, and a debug. So depending upon your severity, you guys can enable this. Then built-ins. Built-ins mainly for calling one form to another form and execute a procedure package. Then call SRS window, go block, go record. So some built-ins are there, Oracle built-ins. So for that, we'll use the built-in. Menu means, example, there is Acrobat. I want to enable one more new menu. It's like add-in. So in that case, we'll use the menu and the special triggers, yeah, to enable the new menus. So we can use only four action types, either property or message or built-in or menu. We will see some examples, sir. Later we will come to know. So when we will use the property, message, built-in, and menu. So okay, once you complete the example, then you will come to know. So we'll discuss. Yeah. So form personalization means without open the Oracle FMB, without using the form builder, without writing any piece of code here, using the front end navigations. It's easy. Anybody can do that. So no need to write a piece of code here. So using it's like a UI, user interface. Even end user also can do that. That much flexibility in the form personalizations and easily to migrate from one server to another server using the FND load utility. So regarding these cosmetic changes here, we'll use the form personalizations like make the fields mandatory, call one form to another form, then execute a procedure or package, then display the messages, call SRS window, change LOB, change the font color, change the window name, and make the fields as the read only. So regarding this requirement, we'll use the form personalizations. So level of form personalization. So we can write it to two levels, form level and function level. The default is the function level. This is the best practice, sir. Go with the always function level. Don't go with the form level. Maybe sometimes, okay. Na? Suppose I want to apply changes for all the functions for that form. Then you can go with the form level. Then the triggers are events in form personalizations. It will support only seven triggers. Okay, na? Like when new form instance, when new block instance, when new record instance, when new item instance, when valid record, special and menu triggers. Out of this here, most of the times we'll use the when valid record to validate the data. Action types. The form personalizations will support only four action types like a property, a message, a built-in menu. Only for here. Using the property, you can make the that means the field mandatory, font color, background color, change LOB. This type of things we can do property. Messages to display the proper message to the users like a show, error, or warning. A built-in means to execute a procedure or package or call SRS window, then go record, go block. That means I want to navigate one block to another block dynamically. I want to jump. So in that case, we can use the go block, go record. So these built-ins will use it. Last, okay, menu. Menu means to enable the new submenus here, or we can call it the add-ins. So with that, the user can call one form to another form. So that's called as the special and menu trackers. So whenever you write a subcode. Yeah, that means through user interface, the changes will not store in the data frame. The changes will store in the Oracle table. The table names FND form custom rules and FND form custom actions. These are the underlying tables for the form personalization. So this is about form personalization here. I will explain the triggers. Then we'll discuss some real examples. So where we will use the form personalizations. Then you will come to know how to use the triggers and how to use the action terms. First here I will explain trigger sequence, how it will fire. Then we'll discuss which trigger we are going to use. Okay. So listen here carefully. That's important. Okay. Whenever you open any form in Oracle applications, listen here carefully. Whenever you open any form in Oracle applications, then when new form instance trigger will fire. Only one trigger will fire. That is called as the when new form instance. When you open the form, then only one time when new form instance trigger will fire. So then when again you close and reopen again, when new form instance will fire. That means that many times it will fire. So suppose if I open the file or form, then automatically before opening the form, the trigger will fire. When you form instance, if you write something, a code in that trigger, the code will execute here. Now, okay, na? Now, okay, na? This is the user block. This is the responsibility block. So I'm navigating from one block to another block here. Then when new block instance will fire. That means calling block, when new block instance will fire. So we are navigating from one block to another block. So at that time, when new block instance will fire, and we are going to create a new record also. Then when new record instance will fire. So now tell me here, when you navigate from one block to another block, two triggers will fire. So when new block instance, when new record instance, and we are going to create a new item also. Then three triggers will fire. When new block instance, when new record instance, when new item instance. So we are going to create a new block. We are going to create a new record. We are going to enter the new item. So three triggers will fire. Okay. So when you open any form, only one trigger will fire. That is called as the when new form instance. When you navigate from one block to another block. Right now I'm in the user block. I'm going to the responsibility block. So in that case, three triggers will fire. When new block instance, when new record instance, and when new item instance. Now I'm navigating from one record to another record. Listen here carefully. I'm navigating from one record to another record. In the current record, the important trigger is the validate record. That means it will validate the data. So only one trigger will fire when valid record in the current record. In the current, I'm jumping to the second record. Then it will fire when new record instance and the when new item instance. When new record instance and the when new item instance. So I will repeat one more time here. When you open any form in Oracle applications, the when new form instance trigger will fire. Only one time only. So if you close and reopen, again the trigger will fire here one more time. So that many times. Okay. Then when you are navigating from one block to another block, three triggers will fire. One is the when new block instance. The second one is the when new record instance. That means we are going to create a new record. And the third one is the when new item instance. Three triggers will fire. And when you're navigating from one record to another record, then two triggers will fire. Three. Current record, that means in the record one, when valid record, in the record two, when new record instance and when new item instance. Those are three triggers will fire. When you're navigating from one record to another record here. Last year, I'm navigating from one field to another field. You guys will help me. So which trigger will fire? I'm navigating from one column to or one field to another field.
When you record.
Only one trigger. What is that? When new item instance. Only one trigger in the same record. Same record. I'm not moving to the another record. In the same record, I'm moving from one field to another field. Then only one trigger will fire. That is called as the when new item instance. Then at last year, um, I entered only one record. I entered only one record. I'm not moving to the another record. I clicked on the save button. Then only one trigger will fire. What is the trigger name? I open the form, then when new form instance will fire, and I come to block, when new black instance will fire, when new record instance will fire, when new item instance will fire, and I enter the data and click on the save button. Only one trigger will fire.
Validate record.
That's correct. Only one trigger, that is called as the when valid record. So once you enter the data and click on the save button here, only one trigger will fire. That is the when valid record to validate your data. Whatever the data you have entered, that's the data is valid or not. Okay, na? So if you know that trigger firing sequence, then only we can write it here. If you don't know that, okay, na? You have to do R&D. అంటే ఒక ట్రిగ్గర్ వైజ్ చెక్ చేసుకుని రావాల్సి వస్తుంది మీకు. సో ఇఫ్ యూ నో దట్ ఫైరింగ్ సీక్వెన్స్ ప్రాపర్లీ, ఈజీలీ కెన్ రైట్ ఏ ఫార్మ్ పర్సనేషన్స్. ఐ విల్ గివ్ 1 or 2 ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్, దెన్ యూ విల్ కమ్ టు నో సో అట్ వాట్ కేస్ ఓకేనా విచ్ ట్రిగ్గర్ అండ్ విచ్ యాక్షన్స్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు టేక్ ఇట్. ఓకే. సో ఎనీ క్వైరీస్ రిలేటెడ్ టు ద ఫైరింగ్ సీక్వెన్స్? Okay. So I will give my requirement here. You guys will help me. So which trigger I need to take it. So my requirement here. Whenever I open the form, listen carefully. Now I'm going to give the real requirement. When I open the form here, by default, that the description field is the mandatory. I want to make a description field as the mandatory. So now tell me, out of these 7 triggers, which one I need to consider?
5, sir.
Yeah?
5. Validate.
Only one trigger. What is the trigger name?
Record.
One thing, record means example here. Forget about this single record. Suppose here in the responsibility, I want to enable the description field. I want to make the mandatory. So if I click that many times here, that means I'm going to coming to navigating from record 1 to record 2. Then again I'm back to the record 1. So that many times it will fire. So performance wise, it's not a good. Now tell me. My requirement here, open the form, that's it. I want to make the field as a mandatory. I don't want to fire any time, every time. So if I take a record level, what will happen? When you navigate from a first record to second record and vice versa, then again it will fire. It will kill my performance. Which is the best trigger for this requirement?
Item, sir.
No. Item, if you click that many times here, okay, na? Every time, suppose I'm clicking the description, then again I'm going to the application, again clicking on the description. Every time my code will execute. That's wrong.
Menu, sir.
No. Menu means we are going to enable extra menus. After the
Okay.
help example, I want to enable the new menus. That won't impact. That's mainly for calling one form to another form. In that scenario, only will use. One thing here, when you open the form, which trigger will fire?
Form, sir.
When you form instance. Okay, na? So how many times it will fire?
How many times
One
open?
time.
That many
Yeah.
times.
Only one time. For that instance, I'm saying. Forget about you close and open, reopen. I won't bother about that. Once I open the form, then the when new form instance will fire only one time. Okay, suppose here I open the form, when new form instance will fire only one time. Then I'm going to the responsibility block. When new black instance will fire how many times in this case?
Once, sir.
One.
One. Again, I'm going to the user window. Then when new black instance will fire or not?
Yes.
Yes,
It will,
sir.
it will fire again. Again, I'm going to the responsibility. Again, it will fire the when new black instance. So, but what about when new form instance? How many times it will fire?
Once, sir.
Only
First
one
time.
time. One. Now tell me here. So whenever I open the form, I want to make the field as a mandatory. Then which is the best trigger?
Form.
Form instance, sir.
The form instance. Okay. So now my second requirement here. Okay. Uh, so my second requirement, listen here. So this from this description, okay, na, should start with the some okay, na, technical. Better, yeah. Control of level. Okay. So always here the description should start with the some okay, na, project name only. ATD. If user is not entering, okay, na, other than the ATD, I want to throw the error. So now tell me, yeah, which trigger I need to consider?
Validate.
The only one trigger, yeah. After entering the data, forget about remaining 7, yeah. Only one trigger, that is the validate. So based on your validation on the data, yeah, we need to consider the when valid record only. That is the only one trigger. Suppose I entered 10 records here in the bottom. Okay, na? So I entered the 10 records. Finally, I'm clicking on the save button. Then how many times the when valid record will fire? Ah, I have entered 10 records. Then finally, I'm clicking on the save button. Then for each record, one trigger will fire when valid. That means that many times, 10 times it will fire. Okay, na? So this is the second requirement here. So coming to this, so description always start with ATD. Otherwise, I want to throw the error. Then in that case, the user already enter the data. Then only one trigger will support. That is called as the when valid record. Okay. So depending upon your requirement here, so you have to make the changes. Okay. So we'll see here. Okay, now one is the when new form instance, then the second one is the when new record instance. We'll check these two triggers, then you will have some idea. So my first requirement here, I want to make the description field as the mandatory. We'll see here how to work on that. So open any form in Oracle application here, not only the user form, any form in Oracle apps. Then go to help, diagnostics, custom code, personalize. This is the navigation to go to form personalizations, nothing but a UI, user interface. Here we can write a piece of code. It is disabled here. I will enable this. Go to profile system. Helpo, diagnostics, helpo, diagnostics, custom code, personalize. So this is the navigation to write a new piece of code here, our new changes, cosmetic changes. So my first requirement here, I want to make the description field as the mandatory. Then go to help, diagnostics, custom code, personalize. This is the navigation. Security user define. Okay. Go to help, diagnostics, custom code, personalize. This is the navigation. So here, just to take some sequence, description. So for some technical description here, description field, mandatory. Then the level, already we discussed two levels, form level and function level. The default one is the function level. Then we have to go to condition tab. Okay, now you have to take the trigger out of the 7 triggers. You have to now, okay, now for this requirement, we are going to consider the venue form instance. If you want, you can write a conditions also. If you want, okay, now, otherwise you can ignore it, no problem. Okay. You can write a conditions. If the condition is a true, example only for US guys only, I want to enable this. For UK and India, I don't want. You can write a condition. Okay, na? Then go to actions. Okay, sequence one. Then we discussed the 4 action types: property, messages, built-in, menu. So to enable that means to make the field mandatory. Already we came to know property is the action type we need to consider. Take that property. Then which property you want, whether you want to change the item property or block property, canvas property, or now it's item. Description is one of the item. Then which item you want. So you have to give the block name dot field name. You have to give the block name dot. That means the user block, the field name is the description. In the user block dot description, it's a block name dot field name. Then the property name. So lot of properties are there, yeah. So you can change the font color, you can disable the field, you can do anything. Okay, now my requirement here, required. One of the properties the required. So I want to make it true. I want to make it true. Save. That's it. So once you save the data, then you have to compile, go to tools, validate. So if something is wrong here, it will validate. Click on validate. Nothing but a compilation. Okay, that's it here. Now close the form personalization and you have to close the user form also. Then only the again reopen the form here. Then only the changes will transfer to your form. Now I'm opening form. Now you could say. Now the description field is the mandatory. So now okay, na? User should enter some value in the description. So user cannot skip the description field. Okay, it's a simple change. It will take max 1 minute here. So if it is a farm development, you have to spend 1 day. Download the FMB. We need to identify that and open the farm builder, set up the farms path, then make the changes. It will take a lot of time. So that's why the Oracle has given the personalizations without writing piece of code. Simply using the front end navigations, we can make the changes. But as a developer, you should know the triggers and the firing sequence also. And which action type we are going to consider that. Then you can write any piece of only cosmetic changes, not a complicated changes. Yeah. So we can't do that. Like adding the new field, new blank. Those changes we can't done in the form personalization. So this is the one change. Yeah. Next requirement, if the user and forget about that one. Okay, we'll take care. Okay, I think it will throw the error. Okay, my requirement here, description should start with 80D. Always, yeah. That is my requirement. So please help me here. మీరు చెప్పండి నాకు ఇప్పుడు description should start with the 80D. Otherwise, I have to throw the error. We have to go to before that here, place our cursor on the description. Place our cursor on the description. Help diagnostics examine. You will get the block name and field name. Listen here, okay na? Go to help diagnostics examine. You will get the block name and field name also. Then okay na? Go to help diagnostics custom code personalize. Then take one more sequence to description start with 80D. This is my requirement here. I'm going to convert to function level the condition. Now tell me which trigger I need to take it out of the 7.
Validate.
Record.
Only validate. After entering the data means your mind will think about only validate record, only one trigger when validate. Then for which block we are going to apply the changes? User block. So we are going to apply the changes in the user block. Then the condition. What is the condition? Colon user. Colon means bind parameter. Nothing but a current record. Dot description. Not like 80D. What I want to do?
Throw error, sir.
Throw error. That's right. Yeah. Go to actions. Sequence 1. Take the type as the message. Message type as don't give the show hint. We have to stop the user. If I give the show, it will display the messages and continue the user. I don't want to do that. I want to stop my user error. Okay. Next. Please enter description. Start with the keyword with something 80D. Okay, so this is the message I want to print it. Yeah, then save it. That's it. Yeah. Then I go to tools validator. So the personations validated successfully. I will show you one error. If you okay, you this one. I'm skipping. I'm forgetting to give the like operator. Then it will save. No problem. Yeah. Now okay, na, to go to tools validator. Then it will throw the error. Some so okay, na, code error. Yeah. Okay. Na. So in that case, the best option, yeah, you have to go to okay, na, tools validator. Then it will take you to the particular field